In January, we lost a special part of our Golf Channel team. Our friend and colleague, Tim Rosafort, passed away after a brief battle with Alzheimer's disease. He was 66 years old. One of the game's most well-respected voices and well-connected reporters, Tim covered more than 125 majors and 17 Ryder Cups. During his standout career, he received both the PGA of America's Lifetime Achievement Award in journalism and the Memorial Tournament's Golf Journalism Award. The PGA also awarded him a lifetime membership, the first journalist to receive the honor. Recently, Rosie's friends and family came together to honor his life and legacy, while also raising awareness for the disease, which has claimed so many lives.
As we begin the month of November, we recognize Alzheimer's Awareness Month. One person who has been personally impacted by this disease is CBS sportscaster Jim Nantz, who lost his father, Jim Nantz, II, after a 13-year battle with Alzheimer's. Nantz continues to lead the fight to eradicate this disease, making a lifetime commitment in 2011 to found the Nantz National Alzheimer's Center at Houston Methodist. We are absolutely honored to have Jim Nantz joining us right now. And Jim, I read that you first recalled something was amiss with your dad when you were at a golf tournament together with him in Fort Worth. In your experience, what were some of those early signs?
Well, first off, I'm so grateful that you guys are acknowledging this is an important time to raise awareness in the month of November. And I know, Matt, this really strikes close to home with you and your mom. This is something that is a very gigantic issue around the world, and I didn't know much about it until that fateful day at the Colonial Tournament in 1995. He suffered what was called at the time a TIA, and it's like a mini stroke, and he never really fully recovered from it. But within a few months of that, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and I think a lot of people can relate to this. At first, I think that the person stricken with it realizes something's amiss, and they're internally they're very frightened by it, but they try their best to cover it up and act normal. But dates are wrong, names are upside down. Things are just a little bit off. We recognize that it from maybe a year leading up to that mini stroke, that things were just fractionally off with my dad, getting names again a little bit upside down. There are a lot of different versions of the disease, some that will last a long time. My dad survived it after diagnosis for 13 years. And then there's the accelerated kind, which it sounds like was in your family, Matt, with your mom. But nonetheless, this is something that we really need to get our hands around. And I made a commitment in 2011 to try to create the best Alzheimer's clinical care and research institute in the world. Now, that's aggressive because there's a lot of great research institutes in the world. But the Nantz National Alzheimer's Center, which is named for my dad at Houston Methodist, is right now it's considered the top research and care center in the South Central United States. We're right on the front lines of all the latest research and clinical trials that are going on. And I'm happy to say that there's some good things that are happening. We have some positive results for the first time in the Alzheimer's research world.
Jim, we see these intelligent, thoughtful, robust people like your dad hit with this disease. In what ways is that the hardest part, both for them and the families?
Yeah, well, Damon, you just can't even imagine that someone that can be, like you said, so mentally alert and the life of a party can suddenly just forget his own family and forget his own name. And if you look at the people through the years who have fallen victim to this disease, it's been an unwinnable, of course, disease up to this point. And hopefully we can turn that around sometime in the near future with at first treatment and later a cure. It's just the names of people that were just gigantic figures in the literary world and the arts in leadership positions. It doesn't have any sector of the world that it doesn't attack. And, I think that the numbers are obviously well into the millions, 5 million in the United States alone. And of course, this is not something that's just exclusive to the U.S. It's around the world that have been diagnosed with it or currently alive with it.
Jim, as torturous as it is for individuals and families to go through this, I'm sure now that you have the Nantz National Alzheimer's Center, you have been able to be touched personally by the way that you guys are helping families. Can you share with us that kind of, if you will, I guess, vision of hope?
Well, you know what we're selling, Matt? We're really, and we're not, it's not false selling. We're trying to let people know there is hope, that we are doing our all. We have an amazing team in Houston. We actually cared for over 4,000 individuals last year.
Nice.
And we've had 9 different trial programs that are currently, we are in part of administering the latest drugs and attempts to try to find answers. There was this one drug that came out of Biogen called lecanemab, which in September showed good results. It's the first, honestly, it's the first positive news we've had in the Alzheimer's research world. Again, I'm not talking exclusively to the NNAC at Houston Methodist. I'm talking inside the world. But we were one of the top ones that were addressing that and administering that trial. And we expect that the FDA is going to approve this in 2023, which is going to be a wonderful first step getting our hands around this. And in my case, you know, because you try to keep it confidential of who's being treated there, but we have famous golfers through the years that I have brought to Houston to be in front of our researchers, from Dr. Joe Mazdu and Dr. Stan Appel and our entire team there, Dr. Rahman in Houston. We have a lot of NFL players who, of course, are coming at it from concussion-related dementia and running trials with them. And we had Tim Rosafort there. I want to get back to how you started. Timmy was an incredible friend to everybody in the golf business, and the outpouring of love that we saw in Tim's battle and ultimately his passing, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it for anyone. He was so beloved, and I hope that Genevieve and the girls still understand how much their husband and father was so central to our lives. Those of us who live in the golf community, whether we're covering it in the media or whether we're playing it, Tim was a standalone guy that stood for excellence and honesty and integrity, and people loved him. And it was an honor to be able to stand up at the memorial event and accept on behalf of Tim, and then to be able to be a gateway to try to get him on some programs. Unfortunately, he was a little too far along in the process. He was past early onset. But to have him visit our doctors and to try to give Genevieve and the girls a little bit of hope, it was an honor to know him and to be one of his friends.
Well put.
Jim, you talked about the doctors you've spoken with and the breakthroughs that have been coming in this realm. Are you optimistic that at some point in our lifetime that there could be a cure reached in this battle against Alzheimer's?
Well, I put it this way. When I realized my father's battle became very public, I wrote a book about my father called Always by My Side, meaning he would figuratively always be by my side. And he is. He's been gone for 14 years. I feel his presence every day. I knew that I had a platform off of that book. So many people reached out, and thankfully the book found an audience. It was a New York Times bestseller week 1 and lasted for a long time. Instant New York Times bestseller. So there was an audience, and I was on a lot of shows to talk about it. And suddenly I was flooded with so many responses from people who understood what my family had been through and what my sweet mom and sister had done to try to keep my father's dignity intact and keep him afloat. I knew then I had to do something more with my life than just calling the great championships of American sport. I had a platform. I had a voice. My voice is my father's voice. That's what I like to say. I sound exactly like my father did. I had no training. He had no training. He actually was never interviewed or never on TV or anything like that. He was just a great dad who cared for his family. But I wanted to take my voice, again, his, in other words, and let it be heard to try to create change and find a way in my lifetime before I take my last breath that I know that the opponent that defeated my dad, I got to be a part of a very large group at the NNAC, at Methodist, Houston Methodist, and all these other great research institutes around the United States that were a part of the team that defeated the opponent that defeated my dad. And that became my life mission. And I'm very proud to say that things don't move at a rapid pace, but I'm proud to say that we are starting to see a trickle-in effect of some positive signs. And this lecanemab research that came out in September. It was plastered everywhere, Wall Street Journal, front page, etc. There is some super positivity as a first step that we will get there, Damon, what you were talking about, that yes, we will defeat this.
Jim, obviously the emotions that you're expressing, the commitment that you have made to honor your father. You've got a picture of your left shoulder, it looks like, of your mom, who you've recently lost, which we're sorry to learn as well. It's excellent.
This is my mom. She passed away 4 weeks ago yesterday, and she dedicated her life, obviously my dad did too, but for caring for my dad, like my sister Nancy did. And those were really, really tough years. You know, I was out chasing a dream and flying all over the country and trying to get to Houston as much as I could, as often as I could, to try to help. But every day, and people that have been in this know the caregiving side. It's the untold story. These are the heroes. Like, they're my hero, my anchor.
Jim, I do want to ask you this, too, before we lose your company today. Whether it's an individual that's concerned about themselves, or whether it's a family member that perhaps is worried about a loved one in their life, what do you recommend for people in terms of recognizing these early signs and trying to take action? Because you alluded to the fact of getting this when it's an early onset.
Well, that's the great question. I'm glad you asked that. Early is absolutely pivotal, because when you start to notice things are fractionally a little bit off. I'm not talking about forgetting the car keys. Everybody does that, and that comes with age. But get a diagnosis and get help early, because there are trials out there, and all of them have to be in that early stage. We don't want to get to the mild cognitive disorder. We want to be early, so we can give your loved one a chance to have the ability to be treated and to delay the process. So don't wait. Don't wait. And recognize it. Go see a neurologist locally. If we can help you, nantzfriends.org at Houston Methodist. That's the home of the Nantz Center. And we'd love to help. We're all in this together.
Brilliant.
Jim, we are lucky to have you in this fight. Thank you so much for sharing your story and for your time today.
I think it's awesome. You know how much I love Golf Channel and how much I watch it, probably more than anybody on the planet. So I'm grateful for what you guys do all the time, but for you to dedicate this kind of time in Alzheimer's Awareness Month, I'm very, very grateful. So thank you to everyone there, you guys behind the scenes, Courtney, everybody that's a part of this. Appreciate you very much. God bless.
Thank you, Jim, and you too. Wonderful to have you on this Tuesday. And as we go to break, we once again remember our friend Tim Rosafort, who lost his battle with Alzheimer's, along with the numerous lives and families impacted by this tragic disease. We continue to do our part to raise awareness and fight for a cure.